Listen to these numbers. According to market research, on marketresearch.com, the industry, the skincare industry, was projected to reach more than $121 billion in 2014. In 2017, it was going to grow another $11.6 billion. And this is just in the US. We haven't even talked about the numbers everywhere else. Black hair care industry, so grossly underestimated that market research firm Mintel estimated the size in 2012 to be about 684 million US dollars, with a projection of 761 million US dollars by 2017. But you know what was missing from these figures? Well, they had not put in there general market brands, weaves, extensions, wigs, independent beauty supply stores, distributors, e-commerce, styling tools, and appliances. If all of those were to be taken together, they would be looking at projections, not projections, they would be estimating that this industry, black hair industry alone, is worth $500 billion. So let's bring it to Africa. Let's bring it really close home. In fact, let's bring it to Kenya. We've seen the mergers and the acquisitions that have happened within the local market, particularly in relation to cosmetics. But do we know what the numbers are? We're looking at something around the 40 billion shilling mark. So when you see that KRA is looking for a way to tax mbalas and to tax lipstick and to tax blush, it's because there's actual money in this industry. But if we're not focused, we might not be able to see where the money is at. So if you're about to go and start a shop because you've heard the numbers that I have told you, slow down. Wait a minute. Because there are experts who are already creating viable businesses within this industry that works for them. Hi, my name is Renee Gamal, and this is Makeda, stories of phenomenal women in STEM, in service, and in business. And today I have the unique privilege of speaking with Muthoni Njoba. In fact, Muthoni has got so many accolades and under her belt that I wouldn't even know where to begin to describe her. I don't know if it would be fair to call you a cosmetologist, a makeup artist, a Maybelline makeup artist of East and Central Africa. I think you sit on that title for the last 3 years, and so much more. How did you know to tap into the makeup artist end of the business? What attracted you to that, as opposed to selling lipsticks and opening a shop?
Well, first of all, those numbers are mind-blowing. Listening to that, I didn't have a clue about where makeup would go, how it would go when I first started, when I left corporate, you know, my office job, to actually pursue my passion in makeup. I must say that the business element kicked in for me when I already left and I was in the deep end. I left thinking, oh, I just want to live my passion and provide a service to women that will empower them with makeup, let them experience another side of seeing themselves. I felt there's this, obviously every woman, we have our own insecurities and whatnot, but makeup for me was just bringing that service to women. And then what I've seen, I've been in the industry, this is my 9th year now, what I've seen happen over, especially the last 5 years, it's just been a complete flip. From the business side with product, the variety we have available to us, brands, you know, saying they want to invest in darker skin tone makeup, in varieties from eyeshadow, everything. There's just so much in the market, locally and internationally. When I first started, you could count the number of stores on one hand, yes. You know, in Nairobi. But just seeing the growth over the last 5 years, I get why now Kenyans and probably the government is looking at the industry like, here, there's something.
We need to get something out of this.
Yeah.
But let's take a step back to just before you made the leap. Because I think that although this is not directly in relation to what it is that you're doing, it speaks a lot to women in business. I don't know if we can rewind to 9 years minus 2 weeks, you know, to when you're sat in your corporate office. And what are you saying to yourself that is giving you the strength to jump?
Wow. So I loved makeup, first of all, since I was a child. And I'm really passionate about sending this message to especially parents with children around 9, 10 years old. They already know what they want to do with their lives if you pay attention, because it's what they're having fun doing. But we've grown up in an environment where it's not fun. You're not supposed to have fun at work. You're supposed to work hard, suffer. The more you're suffering, the more we celebrate you, you know, and make the money. So 2 years into my corporate job, I was just depressed. I was suffering internally. I could do the work. I could show up to work and do the work and go home, but I just wasn't living. I wasn't enjoying it. I was spending so much time away from my son, because of this thing that you have to go to work early in the morning, leave, corporate life, you have to go back to school. So I went back to study a high diploma just so that you can climb up that corporate ladder. And it just got to a point where I said, enough is enough, you know? Just the suffering is what pushed me over. But my CEO at the time, James Moria, I was working as his executive assistant, seeing how passionate he was about his work, and excited. He used to get to the office before all of us. And I was like, why is he so eager to get to the office and enjoy what he's doing? That's what I want. So, you know, when you see somebody actually loving what they're doing, you start to think, okay, why am I here? I'm actually slowing down everybody else in the office with my depressed, you know, energy. So I was studying HR at the time. I decided to study on how to get fired. Just so that I could be, you know, I could play victim with the family and tell them, imagine I got fired, but in my head I had a game plan and I knew I was leaving, and I'm starting makeup and I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just gonna jump and see how it goes. Would I say or recommend to people to do it now? I don't know, because it was tough. The first 3 years, I say, you have to do a lot of free jobs if you haven't already built a portfolio. Had I built a portfolio while I was in corporate, it would have been easier coming out and showcasing my work. But all I had done was a couple of brides here and there. So I had to start from scratch, build my networks, you know, talk about why makeup? Why should I get women to spend their money on a powder, on a foundation, on a lipstick? Who's gonna put time aside to do their makeup in the morning? You know, you're asking a lot of women who embrace their natural beauty, and I love that about Kenyan women. They really do. But can makeup help? Can it enhance a little bit? Can it give you a step up in the corporate setting? Can it give you a step up in presentation at work? You know, whatever it is that you're doing, yes, it can, because it's all, you know, image. So the first 3 years, hearing those numbers were not anywhere close to that at the time. It was, you get out there, you're working for free, you're showing people what you can do, and then saying to them, look, this can actually be a business. It was also difficult because I wasn't selling a product, I was selling a service.
Service, yes, of course.
You know?
I think though, there's so many like sort of valuable little lessons in there. First is use where you are to transition to where you want to be. Build the networks, showcase what you are capable of doing, and do it from a space that allows you to sort of live or survive. So 3 years on, what changed? And was it a sudden change? Was it like year three and day one, and then, you know, like clunk, it came together?
No, not at all. First of all, when you're venturing into an industry that's not even respected in the country that you're starting it in, Kenya, 8 years ago, makeup was not something you're proud to say, I'm a makeup artist. I remember a lot of people saying, oh, okay, you're a beautician. Which salon do you work in? That's as far as people were concerned about makeup. So I had to, first of all, in my second year, I started a website just to educate people, So I didn't even know it was blogging at the time. I just was writing articles and posting them and educating them on makeup and what it's about.
What specifically would you talk about on your blog?
I would talk about how do I fake my glow if I want to, like, you know, pull off, I'm feeling down, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, but I have an event to go to and I need to, like, put on this face and look fabulous. How do I do that? You know, a lot of us are living lives where we're completely exhausted. I remember when I was in corporate, constantly having dark circles under my eyes. Just giving women little tips here and there that can help them be a little bit more confident at work or in different situations, especially if they're juggling a lot in lifestyle. So I was sharing bits and bobs there, sharing with people what's the difference between foundations? You know, there are different formulas. Do we know that? Do we know that you have oily skin, I probably have dry skin, we use different types, you know? It's not all one, it's not mom's powder works for everyone in the house.
Works for everyone, yes, because I've seen it used on the farm for 50 years,
exactly.
whatever it is.
So it was really educating women on that. So by the third year, that's when people are like, okay, now we're taking you seriously, because one, it's not that you got into it and said, oh, it's just a phase and then you're done. I was consistent and I kept on makeup, 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 makeup. So same thing happened with my parents. They were like, okay, now we see that you're really, this is it. So they sponsored me to go to school in London, to Academy of Freelance Makeup, which was a dream I had since I went to university, because that's all I wanted to do. So in my third year, I did that, and that really boosted my confidence coming back home, because again, Africans, Kenyans, we like, where did you go to school? What certificate do you have? So I came back.
That you could say London.
You know,
yes.
Yeah, exactly. That I actually flew out, did this, and they're really short courses. You can find courses between a week, 2 weeks, if you want to specialize in beauty. If you want to get into creating the wounds and all that, that's a bit longer. But for me, it was really the beauty side. So third year that happened, and then I was able to now start booking clients who are consistent, corporate clients who are consistent, who need the services, whether if it's for television or whether it's advertisements, commercials. So now they started to respect the fact that I'm taking it that much more seriously. And then teaching, because then that's the time now interest was starting to build around makeup. Can we actually have proper skills? Hygiene, your makeup kits need to be hygienic, and really take it seriously. So that happened my third year. Fourth was a struggle. Fourth was me questioning, am I going to keep going on?